stream. My name is Lee, and today is Thursday. Um, and they're gonna put an ad. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Hang on. Let me just re-up that just to make sure. Blah blah blah. Okay. Hello, and welcome. Um, those of you who watched the stream yesterday would know that I said I was gonna do Warhammer 40k yesterday, and yeah, it's Warhammer 40k time. Why Warhammer 40k? I'm a big fan of it. You guys would know I do a lot of Warhammer 40k. Not as much as I used to in my youths, but wait, why is the okay? That's fine. Um, boom, and then yeah, we're gonna have to blip, blop. Yeah, we just do that and then use a bigger font. It's fine. Hi. Okay, sorry. Fussing with the one thing you will learn is when you do any kind of streaming is that bugging and fussing with the windows to make them appear well on your screen is a big part of that. So yeah, that's cool. But no, come on in. My name is Lee. The usual disclaimers of blood, not a woman, all that jazz. Hmm. So okay. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Oh, so I said that today we're going to do Warhammer 40k. Those of you who watch the stream regularly know that Warhammer 40k is a fandom of mine that I generally enjoy working on. And I was thinking we could do some fun 40k stuff. We could do some world building. We could do some, fun stuff like that. So let's do that. What I'm going to do is go to. What am I going to do? Alright, they're going to have an ad in 3 minutes. Okay. So they always do that, where they start with an ad break. And let's go to where is that one? Um, um, where was I gonna go? I was gonna go to the place I was gonna go. Now I have that song stuck in my head. Not that one, but the other one. You know the song. And it's kind of silly, but I was looking for, and maybe it just vanished from here, but I was looking for a particular, um, uh, Majiggy, what's it? Where I wanted to share with all of you, but I guess that's not happening. So that's fine. Okay. That's fine. In any case, yep, we are gonna do a thing. So, what was I gonna say? Yep. All right. Never mind. Gonna be out in 2 minutes. Let's start with Warhammer 40k. That's what we're gonna do. I maybe basically, yeah. Let's do this. Warhammer 40k. I'm gonna write this down so we don't. Yeah, and then we'll do okay. A times New Roman. And we're gonna go to 16 just to make it visible on the because we can always put it smaller again if I actually keep the thing at the right side. But this lets you guys see it. I guess we could do a type up string with. Ooh, hang on. This one's the Agri World. System has 3 inhabited planets. Yes. Was one past Agri World and okay. This is definitely a planet. And I definitely took notes on it. On a receipt. So why don't we type this up? And we'll see what it says. Kind of work on this. Okay, so we have an ad break coming up. Yeah, we're gonna do random planet I came up with when I was bored one time and wrote on the back of a receipt. That's gonna be fun. You know, like you do. All right, so I'm gonna start. The system has. Let's see if I can read my own handwriting. You ready? Yeah, I said it was an agri world, so I'm pretty sure it's meant to be. The system has 3 inhabited planets. Inhabited is one word. Planets. First one is an agri world. One is an agri world. We are going to have to do. Yep, and of course agri world doesn't show up, so I have to do that. All right. Blah. Agri world that produces. I guess we're doing present tense. Although, what does it produce? 30%. Alright. Grains. And 60%. Percent. Okay, sorry. Hopefully wasn't very loud. I banged the mic and hopefully it wasn't too loud. 60% large algae farms. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, 60% algae. Hang on, we're gonna have to in big aquatic farms. Yeah, aquatic farms. That's where you produce algae. Aquatic farms. Sure. Spread across the ocean. Okay, hang on. Give me a tick to snag tasty treats. And open the window so you can Okay. All right. Boop. I'm back. The ad break should be just now finished. So those of you who haven't ad blockers or turbo or are using or are subbed, have a handy dandy sub. One of the benefits of being a sub is because I usually deck out when they run ad breaks. Or you get to see how cute pictures of Addy. You get to see cute pictures of Addy more often. Hey, benefits of subs. Okay. Right across the oceans. Okay. Spread across the planet's oceans. Okay, spread across the planet's oceans. The rest of the crops. Let's see, 37 minutes. Okay. Not really. Um. Of various sorts. A variety of crops. Okay. I get some vegetables. People. Ooh. Ask if you can make biodegradable plastic from corn husks, which you can you make biodegradable polyester from corn husks? Think about it. That would be a viable option, right? Now I'm thinking about it. All right. fruits and vegetables that people on the planet ate for themselves. See, I'm already, it is, okay, you see, this is already a tense thing. People, across the eat for themselves. Okay. Okay. Potatoes are a big one. Okay. Are a big one. 6%. So, yeah. So, 30% grain, 60% algae, 6% potatoes, which leaves just 4% for everything else. The cultural output. 6 different types with new ones introduced whenever anyone got their hands on them. With, is that 6? Hang on, that's... I think that's 26. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 26 or another large number. They were 20. No, 26. It might have been a bigger number than that, but let's see, 20. Yeah, 20. They got covered up by printing on the back. Different types. Different types with new ones. Oh yeah. Yeah, if we can find varieties that grow them. Based on an old cautionary tale. On an old cautionary tale about monocropping potatoes. Have been times in history where monocropping potatoes has come back to bite people in the ass. Mind you, there were other foodstuffs available, so the ensuing starvation need not have been a thing, but they weren't getting a potato crop that year. So basically, do not monocrop. Monocropping leads to agricultural failures. Now, yeah, but because there was one bad harvest of one crop should not have caused excessive famine, except for the fact that economic conditions were so tied to that potato because, and there was other agricultural outputs were being exported to sustain the nation's economy, and because of reasons. Yeah. Basically, yes, the potato blight was a problem, but it only became a famine because the British landlords were fucking assholes, essentially. Same thing with the Ukraine. The famine in the Ukraine during the Soviet era has a technical name. Could absolutely have been avoided if they hadn't basically stripped down anyone who knew what they were doing agriculturally as being too bourgeoisie, but also bourgeois. But yes, bourgeois, not bougie, bourgeois. That's how you pronounce it. But also, yeah. So yes, cautionary tales about monocropping and why it can lead to problems if you have any kind of disease. Now, granted, the moral of the Irish potato famine is fucking British are assholes, which, okay, fair. Or the British government, I should say. British people, 50-50. Some of them are decent. Scots are definitely decent. They got screwed over by the English anyway. Welsh, the non-English Brits are okay because they got screwed over too. the English are, even like 3/4 of the English are decent, hardworking folks. The quarter who aren't are the ones that do everything horrible in the world. So, fun facts about life. Okay, that's about Earth though, and this is ancient history by the time this rolls around. 41st millennium. Cautionary tale from ancient Terra. About monocropping from ancient Terra. Monocropping. Sorry, from ancient Terra. And of course, we were never going to get distracted by random historical tangents during the Warhammer 40k stream. That's not going to happen, was it? Yeah. Okay, we don't still have any chat. Maybe I should. Hang on. You know what I'm going to do? Hi. Uh, um, um, Beautiful. Interesting. If you use a semicolon and then a colon when you type your link, and you don't put a comma, you put a period. There we go. Then you get better results. Yes. Okay, uh, um, yes. Alright. Sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna add that. Okay, okay. That'll have to be it. Sorry about that. We got distracted again. I am, um, doing this. Okay. In any case, let me keep going with this. Alright, so. Funding from Ancient Terra. Monocropping from Ancient Terra. Yes, the potato famine. The same logic didn't apply as much to the grains. Because they don't have... Okay, the same logic didn't apply as much to the grains. Doesn't apply as much to the grains. Yeah, I probably... I started in present tense and then mostly I'm doing past, but now that I'm typing it, I said we're doing present, so we're all doing present. Apply as much to the grains. What's the grow? Angry World. They only grow 3 types. Um... Uh... Um... Um... Yep. Alright. They only grow 3 types. Sorry. They only grow 3 types of grains. My mother is texting me, and you can't ignore your mother exactly. I suppose I could ignore her till after stream. But, I also wanted to text my friend to tell him I'm streaming because he doesn't do Discord, and I like having friends come to the stream, and you guys can all meet him in chat too. Could be fun. 3 types. They make booze out of one of them. Yeah, see, they have one grain crop that, 3 types. Oh, actually, this is exactly where you would use a semicolon. They only go 3 types. They make booze out of one of them. Booze out of one of them. Make booze out of one of them. And the last of the harvest, because otherwise it would be. And out of the last of the fruit harvest. Oh, and the last of the fruit harvest. Right, the end of the year when you're, preserving and stuff, and it's just, yeah, that's the last of the harvest. Yep. Um, I do not. Oh, it automatically does that. I think, yeah, I think it automatically. Also, hi, welcome to the stream. I think it automatically mutes when you log into a new stream. Just kind of as a default. But yeah, we're streaming for. Oof, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. 245, 250. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna at least until we finish this. I don't know if you can see. I found this scrap of paper, and I was gonna do Warhammer 40k anyway, and I kind of glanced at it. I was like, hang on a second, this is Warhammer 40k world building, and having extraneous scraps of paper doesn't help, and you really should type them up. So we're typing it up into this Word document here, and then we'll figure out what the planets are called. Planet is called, no, there's 3. It's a system with 3 planets. We've established this. The first one is fruit harvest, because it would go to waste otherwise. Yes, although they do have canneries, but I guess it's probably a seasonal thing. They also have algae, was mostly for food. Okay. Okay, and then the second inhabited planet is one past the Agri World. Okay, so, is that forms the yep, the grain is tithed to the Imperium. Yeah, it's grain. Yeah, they tithe grain. It's the grain. Imperial. Okay, let's see. Imperium. Okay, that is how you spell Imperium. It is not usually a word. Hypothetically, it's one of those words that exists in hypothetical situations. It's a one of those words. It's used in multiple things though. The Traveler has an Imperium as well, rather than an Empire. But the word Imperial comes from Empire, so Imperium is kind of back creating the word from the derivative word. So it, but it's common. Yep. Okay, so you're one of 2 viewers. Let's see. Okay, so Imperium. Largest house of the Imperium. Green is largest house of the Imperium. The second inhabited planet is one past the Agri World. Atmosphere. But had been built up over and hadn't had an atmosphere. Okay. The second inhabited planet. Alright, let me just check something. Second inhabited planet. Here we go. Oop. I feel like the mic's at a weird, like, a different than usual angle. Hopefully you can hear me. Yep, is from Latin adjective, exactly. Imperial, which is the... Yeah. But in English form, imperial is still the adjective form, but we usually use empire, except you can back create the verb form imperium from imperial. Even though imperial is often used for empires rather than imperiums, but, you know. So the proper English usage form is empire, but imperium is often used for sci-fi to make it sound cooler, I think. Also, I think imperium heavily implies that it's multiple planets. Empire, I feel like there's other subtle differences. That come up. Okay. Second inhabited planet hadn't had an atmosphere. Okay, is one planet over. Further out. I don't know where the third one is. And hadn't had an atmosphere. Has built up. Years. They're building an atmosphere up. Let's see. There were mines and quarries. And they built manufactor, it's definitely manufactorum, and was in the quarry that had a housing and worker housing. That's probably it. There were mines. There are mines and quarries. Probably doesn't have the soil for actual food growth, but it has resources, and it's right next to the agri-world, so, you know, ooh, I wonder if the algae gets used to make Soylent, not Soylent Viridian, but, makes prepackaged food for troops, and, actually, that's probably it, actually. They probably tithe the... Algae's probably 60% of agricultural output, right? So it's probably 50-50, well, or is the grain a luxury export kind of deal? Because there's 3 types of grain, and they only use one of them for booze. The other 2, unless those are for the... Ooh, actually, though, 50-50... Ooh, no. The algae is 50-50 non-planet and sent over, and then the grain is like full-on actual imperial tithes, whereas the algae foodstuffs is for export as well. 50-50 home use export, and then the grains are tithes. Let's see. Okay, hang on. Built manufactorums and worker housing in the quarry that had run out of good stuff. Yes, okay. And they've built... both on their own planet. System. Right. Grains largely tied to the Imperium, except, you know, a third of it's for booze. Actually, it's probably a smaller percentage of the overall crop is the type they use for booze. The rest of it is larger percentage of the grain crops, which are imperial tithes. Yes, okay. And they could be wheat or barley, but I don't know what exactly grains they grow. Because it's, let's scooch this a little bit so you can kind of see the blue in the flag. Yeah, we'll lynch this over a little so you can see the blue in the flag. What was I gonna say? Oh, yes. So, the, yep. We were doing 40K world building. Sorry. They've built, okay. Let me see. Workers, mines and quarries they've built. Yes. They've built worker housing. Okay. Manufactorums. Worker housing. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. They probably pump in O2, like the atmosphere proper that is probably that kind of creates pressure and heat trapping is probably well, okay, let me mine's of course, and then they pump in the O2 because you can crack O2 out of stuff. I mean, it's not impossible. You crack it out the carbon and sell the carbon as like charcoal, right? Pure carbon is useful for stuff. Graphite, and if you process the carbon into graphite or yeah, you burn out the CO2 and then process the carbon into pure graphite or diamonds, and then you keep the oxygen as yeah, you scrub out the O2 and then you take the carbon and you use it for stuff, and then humans are constantly throwing off carbon. Yeah, that you'd probably have to pump in O2 from somewhere, even with the excellent recycling. You'd probably still have to pump O2. Actually, though, it could be an industrial thing. Like, you pump O2 in for the industrial processes, and then it gets scrubbed. The CO2 from the factory smoke gets scrubbed along with the CO2 everyone's breathing, and that's enough O2 to keep the population from suffocating. That might be how they do it. Well, okay, hang on. Let me get on with what I've written. Let's see. The good stuff. In the quarries that have run out of the good stuff. Yes, okay. Um, but you see, this is why we do world building. I thought of this. Okay, so let's see. Um, oh, concentrated into fiber that was then fed into the factory process, which made uniforms for the Imperial Guard. Okay, so they're making uniforms for the Imperial Guard from algae. So they have algae tanks too. Actually, yeah, and that's natural biocycling of CO2. Perfect. So yeah, they're a step ahead. They're biocycling the CO2 in algae tanks. And yeah. Yeah, they're cycling the CO2 in algae tanks. That's actually okay. I am excited about this. Freaking this is cool and exciting, and um you know, um um yeah, and that's probably to cycle the CO2 so people can breathe. That's probably a huge factor, and then you also use it for the manufacturing process, because that's when you have really good manufacturing systems is you cycle stuff. Um, World building is one word. Okay. All right. Blech. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I'm getting my hair cut. All of them cut, actually. All the ones down here are getting cut off. Ones up here are staying. That's how it usually goes. Um, bloop. All right, good stuff. We're now the good stuff. Um, they built up buildings to grow a type of algae that concentrated into fiber. Okay. And if they used, hang on a second, if they use heat, latent heat, if you have an algae that uses latent heat from, if you could bioengineer an algae that uses latent heat as its energy source for photosynthesis rather than sunlight, you could actually, that would actually be actually helpful as a heat sink, because okay, hang on. That, well, anyway, that's just a thought, especially if you don't have a lot of sun. Well, I mean, you don't have a lack of sunlight, I suppose. Has become buildings grow. Okay, algae. Built up. Um. Uh. 'Cause, 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 Oh, the atmosphere built up because of the smoke. Okay. Of the industrial smoke. Has mostly built up. It's mostly built up because of the. And to make it breathable, they've, yeah, they've, they've created vast vats of. Yep, that. Yep. Vast vats of algae that. CO. Ooh, do they have two into. Ready? O2. I don't know if this will stay in rich text. We'll see. We'll do rich text, and if it doesn't, then CO2 into O2, and gets spun into fiber that's used make uniforms. For the Imperial Guard. I didn't specify what the third one is, so I don't have notes on that. I might have notes on some other, let's see. Tithed, which was what the planet tithed. Yes. Tithe. Yes, that is the thing with Imperial. The Imperium, the 40k Imperium is the planets have to tithe and have tithes, and the tithes are, often thanks for the Imperial Guard. Shame. Okay. Uh, um, okay. We might. Okay, 7 minutes for the ad break. Actually, though, since pre-roll is on, okay. Yep. They also supplied bodies, though their las guns. Okay, so they also supplied okay. They also supplied soldiers. I don't know what the third planet is. I just have these two. So, you typed it up. That's pretty good. Let's save our work before we do anything. Why don't we go File, Save As. We're saving it as an RTF, and if it... Okay, no, we're not saving... It's not Untitled 1. It's... Um... Uh... Um... Planets XYZ. Yep, because there is a planet Z. Okay. Alright, let's see. Yep, see, the CO2 and O2 does exist. Can render in rich text format. They're just being finicky about it. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run a 1-minute ad break. Because there's gonna be one in 5 minutes anyway, and that'll reset the timer for that. It'll also reset pre-roll, so people don't have to watch ads when they first come in. And then I'm gonna snag another donut, and then while I get these settled, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna figure out this third planet. Now we'll still have that'll give us half an hour. You know, we'll figure out the third planet as well. I don't know what the third planet's gonna be. I will see you in a minute. Let me do that. Okay, that should work. Sorry about that. I am. Boom. Okay. Oh, damn it. Okay, here's the thing. Boom. Okay. That should have reset the counter, but I'm back. Is for what that's worth. Although I didn't grab. Oh, you know, reset the counter for what that's worth. I didn't even reset the counter, and it didn't even. Yeah, it didn't even like run properly. So not only you guys just got a break and didn't get an ad break. I don't know what went wrong with it, but all right. Um. Okay. Now that sucks. But I appreciate your patience anyway, because it was supposed to happen when it runs an ad break. Um. 1 minute, which took me longer than a minute. I had to run to the bathroom, but uh. So it's going to on anyway. Well, I can't snooze it because it's only going to last 5 minutes. I only have three, so that's 15 minutes worth at most. Alright. So that sucks. But, you know, that's okay. I appreciate your patience, though. Um, that's the, okay. I have to figure out the third planet in the system, though. Third planet in the system. Is, okay. I should say inhabited planet. Hmm? That's an interesting question. Is the third planet, let's see. It is the third planet in the system. What is the third planet in the system? I should not be eating this much donuts. I should not be eating donuts. So many donuts. Okay. I should put it on savor while we think of this. So, third planet in the system. Because I had notes on 2 planets. And not on the third. So I think what we're going to have to do. I suppose we could roll, like, random dice. We could do random dice. Because we have an Imperial. Alright. Although, so we have 1 agri world, 1 mining world. 1 mining world, 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 1 mining world Um, the third one could be a. Ooh, that's a thought. Hydrogen. Okay, so water is a big thing, right? Ivory World, has plenty of water. It's got oceans and stuff. But for they can't have enough water for them and for like the water tables. I mean, granted, if you're offloading it in the form of agricultural produce, you actually are probably making the ocean. But if it was a high percentage ocean anyway, it's shrinking down, which is good because, and they probably run desalination to provide drinking water for the public, which is fine. But they are shipping it off world. I remember in Moon is a Harsh Mistress they talked about that. How problem is they ship all their water off world because they ship the produce off world. And it's easier to ship stuff down from the moon than it is to ship stuff up from Earth because of gravity differentials. Uh, but that, if it was a high percentage world, anyway, hydrogen. Yeah, I mean they need power sources, right? Solar can work, but if they're cracking, uh, so third inhabited one is um I mean, local gas giant has a moon, right? That makes sense. Because you figure, boom. I was trying to avoid this, but, okay, let me, um, um, okay. Okay. So there's that. Beautiful. Perfect timing. Okay. So, we only have 3 viewers. That's okay. I appreciate all 3 of you. Um, I was gonna say though, we had a whole planet. Yes, third planet is going to be. We need to name these planets too, but the third inhabited planet is a large moon. Of the gas giant. Actually, yeah. Um, um, yeah, it's got one big gas giant. It's got one gas giant, not like Earth, which has 2 at least, right? Because it's got Mercury, Venus, kind of rocky and hot, Earth, Mars, and then you got Jupiter and Saturn, um, and then Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, which are kind of, and then you have one out beyond Pluto. So then you have, and Pluto might get a dwarf planet status. Well, the thing is, they never define what planet status is, and I think Pluto would qualify if they changed you know what I mean? Anyway, um, it has planet. It's like Boston cream puckers. It's or Icelandic horses, where yes, they'd be technically classified as ponies, but like they're horses because of nomenclature is arbitrary, and we can say that yes, they are horses, and yes, Pluto is a planet. You know what I mean? I guess it has. I mean, or you could just count the other dwarf planets. There are a few others as well. So you could just count the planets and the dwarf planets as planets, and then you'd have like 11, 12. I don't know. More than the traditional 9, but maybe they deserve more respect. Maybe you could expand rather than the definition of planet to cover more things. Floating around out in the atmosphere, or chugging around the sun. Um, yeah, planets and moon classifications could be fun. Ooh, Forge World. We don't have a Forge World. This system. Kuiper Belt is loaded. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of stuff out in the Kuiper Belt. And if you start putting, settling those in atmosphere domes and stuff, you could have. There's a lot to be said for that. But yeah, the Kuiper Belt is full of stuffs. And the asteroids, we have a lot of those, and those are orbiting the sun too. So, or comets. All right, comets orbit the sun. Asteroids are a little. If I recall correctly, asteroids are just kind of loose. Comets orbit the sun. I think that's the technical difference, right? Because comets come by at regular intervals because they are, um, you know, things that orbit. But at least if I can recall my space terminology correctly. Space terminology is not my strongest suit. I know a good amount. All of them are in solar orbit. Okay. All right. So asteroid and comet is just whether they hit or go past. All right. All right. Interesting. You've got the cap lock on. I don't know if you're meaning to yell at me, um, or if you just got the cap lock stuck. But um, good to know. Um, what's I gonna say? Um, I was gonna do a thing. I was gonna figure. Oh, the third. Oh yeah. So, is the third inhabited planet in the system with large moon at the edge of the system, and which includes several artificial hydrogen mining rigs that yeah, it's no fanatical, no artificial. Um, artificial. Yep, hydrogen mining rigs that um, um for fuel purposes. Yep, fuel purposes. Yes. Yep, I figured it was oh, interesting. So it's what they're made of that makes the difference between comets and asteroids. We're learning things every day. You know this things more than I do. Um, yeah. Um, um, okay. Let's see. Bringing hydrogen for fuel purposes. Yep. The uh, the few settlements um on that planet, that moon, are mostly practical. Um, uh, system um, wide practicality. System-wide practicality. Oh, so, okay. So here's the thing: does the government run? Okay. So the big one is transport guilds. You've got interstellar transports bringing things. Then you have inter-system, imperial traders coming in to take goods from off-world, to export goods off-world that can handle bigger ships that come into the system. Um, it's farther out, so it acts as a navigational point for larger ships coming into the system. Basically it's intra, um, you know, intersystem navigation waypoint. It's intra-system navigation shuttles bringing people and things between the planets and the system. It's defensive maneuvers for the system. It's a staging area for the Imperial Guard. It's a lot of things. It's it's what stuff's brought in. Yeah, it's basic practical. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Practicality. Um. Uh. I don't know. It acts as a port for larger for intersystem, both intersystem and intrasystem ships, um, um, starships and merchant vessels. Imperial merchant. It probably also has like a shrine or two. Like there's probably an administratum building and a shrine. Yeah, like it's probably an administratum building and a shrine too. I bet it has a few things like that. There we go. I know we're cooking with gas. Okay. Okay. Um, and we have one fewer random thing I need to type up at some point. So, this one is... Oh. This is a to-do list from ages ago. And it's his birthday card, and for Ellie, and her birthday was in February. So, definitely out of date to-do list. Okay, but so I wanted to see if there was like a second half of that I typed up, and I don't see any. But oh yeah, Sisyphus the physicist, another one of those. Okay, which I did type up. So we're good on that front. Let's see. What am I gonna do? Capital. Okay, so interplanetary merchant vessels and in system. We're gonna do in system shuttles. Good and people. The 3 planets. Intersystem Imperial merchant vessels. Imperial with capital I. Administratum office, and was officially okay. So here's the thing: if it was directly now we're okay with gas, because if it's directly Administratum headquarters, along with a shrine to the god, a small shrine to a imperial saint who defended the system from orcs one time. And okay, yes, okay, so imperial saint, yes, okay, we're putting an imperial saint. Containing the Administratum office, also contains is a large gap, okay, which includes several mining. Bring up the few settlements on that moon are mostly system-wide. Acts support for inter-system Imperial merchant vessels and in-system shuttle that bring. Okay. Consistent tensing. goods and people between the planets. It also contains an office. Yeah, administratum office and um, a shrine to Saint. Ooh, let's see. What's saint? What's a good name for a saint? Imperial Saint. You know what? Um, um, yeah. You know what? Cause it wasn't just European. Yeah, it wasn't just European um groups. Um, um, um. Oh, Mofi Lan. Okay, you know what? We're gonna um a Chinese gymnast. 19 China's most successful gymnast in the 90s. Uh, um, okay. Hui Len is also Chinese Indonesian international socialite and style icon. But she hyphenates her name. Okay. You know what? We're gonna name her after um Hui Len. Okay, so um yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me see if we can. Yeah, random international. Yeah, we're gonna name an imperial saint after a Chinese Indonesian socialite because, but we're gonna use it as one. We're gonna squish it down as one word. Yeah. Um. Uh. Um. Yeah. Um. A. Um. Major. No. What's a naval rank? Okay, naval ranks are. Yeah. Naval admiral. No. Oh yeah, an admiral. She's an admiral in the Imperial Navy. No, captain. She was a captain in the Imperial Navy. The Imperial Navy who coordinated the system's defense. Yeah. Um. Maybe did she actually get sainted? Like, I bet she didn't like officially sainted, but she, um, there was enough rumors of being a saint that someone built a shrine because she saved the freaking system from orcs, from a big war boss ship. Blew it. Yeah. It used very clever tactics to defeat an orc ship, and everyone was really grateful. So they made a little shrine, and you know, um, and it would be like a Battle of Midway situation. Not Midway. What's the one? The one like Midway where everything just went exactly right and wrong because everyone like the timing was just so like you couldn't make that stuff up. And if it yeah, with just the perfect timing that saved that planet. And because she was in charge of that and it was her idea, this whole scheme, I don't know. I'm not a brilliant military tactician, but that's who gets sainted in Imperium. The Imperium is brilliant military tacticians who save the planets from humanity's many enemies. Um, ooh, Dark Eldar pirates maybe. Mm. Xenos invasion. It doesn't matter which one. It's a Xenos invasion. Okay, yeah, she saved. All right, sorry, we're inventing an Imperial Saint. Yep, it contains a saint and a shrine and um. Oh yes, act as administratum office, the Imperial staging area. Midway, it was Midway. Okay, yeah, where the timing. Yeah, all right. Yep, I remember that. But you hear about the timing for the Battle of Midway, and you're just like, you can't make that up. If you were a writer, if you made up timing like that, you'd be called idiot. Like it's so But it happened because sometimes timing just works. And that is why Rihulan, who was a general, an admiral, was in charge of the defense of this system, had an Imperial battleship, and she was in charge of the defense of this system from a threat, and she put out her fighters, and she just managed to make the timing work so well that everyone thought obviously she has some in with the Emperor. Uh, Whether she did or not, who knows? She's been dead for millennia, but the system didn't get overrun by orcs, and she has a little shrine. And occasionally people report, um, yeah, exactly. But yeah, occasionally, so she has some amazing. The timing was just the strategy and the timing. The timing was just like so, you know, perfectly timed that everyone was like, obviously she has an in with the Emperor, and now she is a saint, and um, at least I don't know if they officially she got officially canonized by the Adeptus Terra or the Ecclesiarchy, but she is locally recognized as a saint, and there are occasional miracles reported, whether that's the Emperor putting his thumb on the scale or just psychosomatic. Mm-hmm. But there are occasional miracles reported, and they don't have a lot of out of system pilgrimage, but she has a shrine, a little one. But yes, coordinated the system's defense. Uh, a captain, yes, a captain in the Imperial Navy, who coordinate the yes against a Xenos ship, a Xenos warship. Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, it includes basically a lot of practicality stuff and a shrine. So now we have a systemary saint. Um, they could probably have named the system after her actually, because it was kind of just yeah, they named the Hulan system after this saint. Yeah, Hulan system. Yeah, sure. The okay. Um, um, I actually, well, it's from a silly little fictional game that I was playing that heavily bastardized the story of the Mongol conquest, and part of it is conquering Jin Dynasty, and that is a part of a little storyline with that. But I recognized the name, and I was like, you know what, we can use the name, and it is indeed an actual. I was double checking that it's an actual name that people use, and it is because there's at least one gymnast and one very well-known socialite with the name, and probably others. Um, yeah, and they named the system after her too. But yes, maybe not crazy Battle of Midway level, but it was definitely um, um, okay. Yes. But what's I gonna? Okay, yes. So I think it's getting to be late. So what we're gonna do is this. I'm just gonna finish. What is? Oh yes. Defense against the Xeno warship had such good luck with timing. Uh, with the timing of sending our fighters out. Everyone assumed. Everyone swore that she must have. Yeah, there aren't nearly enough saints in the Imperial Navy because I feel like they do. Must have had divine. Um, Emperor from the Emperor himself, the God Emperor himself. God Emperor of mankind himself. Um, Minor miracles. Been reported. past millennia. So this was about 1 millennia ago because past millennia, guidance, yes. Miracles and Imperial Guard soldiers. Um, um, and only, oh yeah, and only arrived in the system in time because after having only arrived in the system in time because the passage was unusually smooth. So she only arrived in the system in time when they set out because they said the astropath, a few astropaths, yeah, they sent the astropath out. Yeah, there's a few astropaths, right? Oh yeah, also a few astropaths. The Imperial Guard Stagiaire tried to Captain Imperial Navy who coordinated. Yes, okay, so for favorable and good luck. Yep. Okay. South after to an unusually smooth journey. Warp is capitalized. Okay. Yep. Alright. Yep. So now we have... Hey, not only do we have a name for the system, we have a new Imperial Saint, and 3 planets, like it said originally, and I have an extra bit of paper off my desk that wasn't supposed to be there, so yay for efficiency. But I need... I have to be at work soon, so I was hoping to do a few things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all. It's been more than an hour, so I think we did a good job. Thank you all for coming to my Warhammer 40k stream. So that's fun. And I appreciate you guys. You are awesome. Appreciate... What else? Okay, I need... Yeah, I think I need a nap. Alright, thank you all for coming. You guys are cool. What else? We're gonna raid somebody. Take care of yourselves, everyone. I will see you on Tuesday for another stream. And I will put up on the Discord what you know, I'll put up on the Discord what the, you know, what it's gonna be when I figure it out. Yeah, I will put up ahead of time. I have the Discord. We do occasional world building stuff, you know, fun things. Okay, I'm going to let me see, where are we going with this? All right, I'm going to... There are only a few of you here, but that's okay. We're gonna raid somebody. Following. Okay, let's see. Who do we have we can raid? Epic Duck, always fun. Tiger Rights, Starborn Striker. We haven't raided... Okay, we raided... Alright, you know what? We're gonna raid Terran. I haven't raided Terran in a little while. Yeah, let's raid Terran. I know people raid... yeah, let's raid Terran. Who's drawing cute puppy picture, I think. Yeah, those are definitely puppy ears. Okay, he's drawing cute puppy watercolor, so let's go raid. Go say hi, and let's do it. Okay. Yep, take care of yourselves. See you on Tuesday. Let me just...